the sun. From the earth to the sun, we are traveling on the race.
Hi everybody, it's Mateusz from the Cosmos Within Us, and today we're going to be talking about the full moon in Scorpio, which will happen very soon, May 16th. Actually, there's going to be night from Sunday to Monday. It's going to be around midnight here in east coast of the United States. First, let's look at the chart of this full moon. Here we see the sun and moon. Here we see our Scorpio Taurus axis. What is important during this full moon is that it's happening together with a full lunar eclipse, right? And also what's worth mentioning is that it's happening very close to the lunar axis, the nodal axis, which are right now in Scorpio and Taurus. So these are two important factors that will shape the energy of the time. The full moon is a peak of a lunar cycle. I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you see, I posted a video exactly 2 weeks ago when we had a new moon in Taurus, when I was talking a little bit more about this whole lunar cycle. It is important to remember, or at least, to think about what was happening around the new moon, which was 30th of April. We are exactly 2 weeks after that, and we are having a peak, a climax of this lunar cycle that has been initiated back then. So whatever we initiated during the new moon, or whatever has started for us back then, right now it's coming to a bloom, it's coming to a fruition. Right now we see things in a full light, because new moon is a dark phase, is an obscure phase of the lunar cycle. Is a dark night, no moon, no sun, no light during the night. It's a very intuitive, instinctual, subconscious phase. It's like a seed under the ground, that something has started, something has initiated, but we are not even sure what it is. And 2 weeks after that, when the full moon is coming, this is when we see things in a full light. It's like two people. The relationship of the planets is like a relationship of two people. When somebody would be sitting right next to me over here where my hand is, I don't even see my hand. This is the new moon. This is a conjunction of two planets. I just see my hand with a corner of my eye. When we have a full moon, this is when, the moon makes a full circle, and it's like a standing, just like somebody standing in front of you, just like you see me right now. And you can see clearly, what are we dealing with, what, who the person is. So during the full moon, we can expect some kind of a revelation, illumination, on whatever has been started, initiated during the new moon. And as I said in the previous video about the new moon, our physical body will play an important role in this lunar cycle, because it started on Taurus. Taurus is, the most body-oriented, sensual sign of all earth element signs. It's our connection with the nature, with the natural environment, and the physical body. Scorpio, on the other hand, is a water element sign, so it more deals with the emotions, feelings, and what is hidden. So one of the most important threads of this time is something along the relationship of our emotions and body. So all psychophysical level of things, or our symptoms, all those situations when our body is acting up or responds to our emotions, and the other way around. And you can work so many emotional issues through a body work, And you can also, as we know, the mindset, the emotions and feelings are crucial when it comes to dealing with, for example, physical symptoms of illnesses. So that's important part of this puzzle. But also Scorpio, Scorpio rules hidden things. All the feelings and emotions that we have repressed, rejected, all the difficult stuff that we were not ready to deal with in the past, very often it's got pushed. It gets pushed into subconsciousness, and then it influence our life from the within. That's why we don't understand it. And Scorpio deals with these things. So as I mentioned, there will be also a lunar eclipse at the same time. This is going to be full lunar eclipse. So astronomically speaking, this is a situation, this is an event when Earth stands exactly between Sun and the Moon, and Earth casts its shadow on the Moon. So this lunar eclipse will be a situation when we will be able to see our own shadow. And this is what will happen literally, but you can also approach it in a less literal way. The eclipse is always a game of light, and the eclipse always wants us to see something. And also, the full moon in Scorpio, the bright light that shines into a spheres that are very often dark, just like the night. And the Scorpio, which is deals very often with the shadow. Scorpio, it's a sign. Scorpio and the Pluto, very often, these are the factors, the elements that gives us courage to look into shadow. So this eclipse will definitely, gives us some kind of a glimpse into the sphere that is not so easy accessible. And it might gives us some insights into the things that we don't have a contact with on a daily basis. So very, very valuable, powerful time. And when we think about Scorpio Taurus axis, there are healing properties that comes with each signs. And whenever in my work I deal with Scorpio issues, I retreat to Taurus as a remedy for all the Scorpio excessiveness of the emotions, over intensity and things like this. Because that is four-legged heavy animal that stands on the ground and chew grass slowly, peacefully, in serenity. And it has this capability to ground, to stabilize all the Scorpio neuroticism and all the difficult parts of the Scorpio. Also, what is important, this full moon will be happening on the lunar axis. Lunar nodes are right now in Scorpio and Taurus. There's a south node in Scorpio and north node is in Taurus. This reminds me a story. I don't know if you remember this scene from the Lord of the Rings, when they are running away from the fire demon and the Balrog in the dungeons. So they are in the dungeons, which is already a domain of Scorpio, and there's a demon there, Balrog. And the south node and the north node are also called the head of the dragon and the tail of the dragon. So the south node in Scorpio is the tail of the dragon. And going back to Lord of the Ring, they are running away from the demon, and then there is the scene when Gandalf stays on the bridge and he said, "You shall not pass," and he hits the bridge with his staff, and the bridge collapses and the demon falls down into the darkness. And then Gandalf stays on the edge of the collapsed bridge and watches Balrog disappearing into the void. And when we all think that it's over and the demon has been defeated, there's like a fiery, whiplash that basically is coming out of the darkness. It wraps around Gandalf's ankle and it drags him down. So this is a situation where this whip from the dark is a situation when we think that it's already over, but it's not. It appears that there is just like this last blast, and we thought that we went through something, but then it comes back again, and it encourages us to, or sometimes force us to deal with this. So all unresolved issues from the past, South Node Scorpio, right now things might come back, and it's highly probable that they will manifest themselves on the level of the physical body. That might be it. There is Saturn involved in this full moon. Saturn is in a 24th degree of Aquarius, so it creates a T-square with this full moon. So the Saturn in Aquarius is becoming like in T-squared, Saturn is like a focal point. But also Saturn is what can disrupt the balance between Sun and Moon. Saturn in Aquarius I would say it's a very sobering energy. It's a pretty sober, maybe even sometimes cold or a critical look, on what we have to work with, so what we have to transform. But Saturn in Aquarius is also, it can give us the quality of being really emotionally detached from things and really observe and assess things in a pretty rational, sometimes even cold way. But that might be helpful. That might be great counterbalance for not getting too emotionally entangled in the things, especially with the full moon in Scorpio. Just letting go of things. This is also a fixed square, a fixed T-square. Fixed T-square is the challenge of a fixed squares is always let things go, let things flow, and this flow is sometimes it is a problematic for the Scorpio, because Scorpio is a fixed water. I don't know if you remember the Jofra Bosch arts card of Scorpio, when the Scorpion stands over the water, and but the water is yellow, and we know that the fixed water, the water that is not flowing, the water that's not running, might become easily a harbor for all the bacteria. So to bring the flow into things seems to be also very important around that time, and not really get too attached to things. Also, what came to my mind about the South Node in Scorpio, another element is the Scorpio is a animal that it doesn't attack with a front part of his body. It doesn't attack with the claws or with teeth. It attacks with his tail. And I think it must be very confusing for the opponent sometimes, because the attack doesn't come from the front, it comes from the back, but the Scorpio keeps his tail over his head. So you are being focused on what's happening here in the front, and suddenly the attacks come from somewhere there. That story, that symbol might also bring something, some understanding to this full moon. The things that we do not expect, or the things might come from where we didn't expect, and especially might come from the place that we thought that we already sorted it out. For example, the conflict in the Ukraine for me has a very strong charge of a Scorpio South Node, because there is this kind of a vibe around it that we all thought that we are basically done with this kind of things, and there is going to be imperialism and this kind of stuff. Like we thought that we are done with it, at least in some level, but no, like there's another huge country that just attacks another smaller country, and like here we go again. So this is like this vibe of here we go again, and we still have to confront some things from the shadow and, you know, transform it, work it out, to like really understand it, embrace it, acknowledge it, and, you know, heal things. Scorpio Taurus axis is very, very healing, because Scorpio Pluto is a healer. That's a power to transform things. And then the Taurus is like it can be like a balm, you know, the contact with nature, serenity, peace, grounding of all shakiness and neuroticism, anxiety, excessiveness, you know, all those things. Enjoy the full moon time, everybody. Take good care of yourself, be careful, go to some drumming circle, go to some yoga classes, do something that involves body, that's something that feels good, that is just good for your body. And yeah, just enjoy the time, celebrate. Look how beautiful it's here where I am, upstate New York. Oh, you see that red thing behind me? We used to have a beehives there. And that red thing is a cage, because huge black bear came and he knocked out the beehive, and he ate all the honey. So our friends has put this cage to protect the beehives, but this bear was so huge that these 2x4s that this cage was built from just snapped like a twigs. So watch out for the bear and subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.
We are like travelers